Johnny Bones. It began simply enough. That time of year arrived when the Halloween decorations were put out, and for the first time in ages I found myself paying them attention. I never decorated, in fact I never really celebrate any holidays, they're just like any other day to me. For whatever reason, I was drawn to a cheap plastic, life-size skeleton. I supposed it might be nice to have some company with me out on the porch. See, I had quit drinking so I'd started chain smoking instead, a trade-off of one vice for another, really, which meant I was out there often. So there we were, watching wafts of smoke work their way up to the stars. The skeleton sat across from me, grinning eerily. "You want a drag?" I joked. It said nothing, of course. I kept it up, making idle remarks. I was lonely, I admit. This charade was oddly comforting. It continued this way. A week later I found myself having full conversations with it, even pausing to imagine what it would reply. I gave it its own voice, its own character, sense of humor. It became its own person. I started calling it Johnny. Then came the night that Johnny disappeared. I'd gotten home late, it was already dark. I didn't realize he was missing until I had walked up the steps. I was furious, swearing into the night and wondering what kind of person would come onto my property and steal my friend. Still fuming, I unlocked the door and burst into the kitchen, only to stop dead. There he was at the table, grinning at me. "Johnny," I wheezed, "how did you get in here?" Silence. I crept forward, keeping my eyes on him. All he did was grin. "Johnny, you answer me right now." I leapt back in terror as his jaw fell open, instantly feeling foolish. "Damn you, Johnny," I cursed, shutting off the lights and stomping up the steps. I didn't understand how he'd gotten there, but I was in no mood to try and solve that mystery. I'd come back to it in the morning. I slept soundly, waking up early and feeling refreshed. The strangeness of the night before gradually came back to me as I laid in bed. I peered around the corner as I made my way downstairs, dismayed to see that Johnny was no longer seated at the table. My heart pounded as I reached the landing and an odd sound met my ears from the living room. The thing crawling toward me was nearly human. Muscle and skin had begun to grow over the plastic bones, which now housed a beating heart and other organs, all manner of bodily fluids seeping into the carpet. "No, Johnny, no. You're not real. You're not real." He fixed his hollow eye sockets on me, his skeletal grin splitting open, and he spoke to me in the voice I imagined for him. "You make me real."